Yo, what is up, y'all? It is Muscle Bully Mondays. We are live. We are in here. We waiting on our guest and my co-host Stan, and we're gonna get rolling. And we gonna get rolling. Kiss everybody up in here. Hope y'all doing good. What's up, Team XDOG? I hope everybody's doing all right today. We are here, Muscle Bully Mondays. Yo, CMK Bullies, what's happening? Rogue, what's up, Roger? Dum 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 dum. Wait on some Gizest. Dum 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 dum. How's everybody doing today, man? We got some giveaways. Giving away 3 puppy. Man, this fly, bro. What the? Where's everybody at? Yeah, we here. I'm just waiting on Stan and our guests, and we're gonna get rolling, y'all. A whole bunch of people in here. What's happening, everybody? I see everybody joining, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Goes our guest. Bro, this fly is fixing to get on my nerves. Yo, just waiting on Stan now.
All right, I'm just getting set up here.
Cool. You sideways.
Nice.
I don't know if it'll rotate when we're all three on here. There you go. We got our guest in here. Now we're just waiting on our co-host. How's your day going, man? I know I seen on Facebook y'all were moving, bro.
Yeah, it's been a busy day trying to get the kids set up in the new school.
Yeah. Well, we really appreciate you tuning in with us, man, and taking the time out your day.
Absolutely no problem. Looking forward to it.
Here goes our man right here. Boom. There we
What's
go.
going on, Bullies?
Hey, Stan.
What's up, buddy?
How you doing?
Good. Let's see. Is that the new office or what?
It's a temporary office. It's like because our internet is so slow at home, so we have to set up a temporary office for the kids to play their games.
Nice, nice, nice. I love it, man. The latex legend is in the building, brothers and sisters.
Uh-oh. The
Yes.
latex legend.
Latex.
Only real breeders know what I'm talking about there.
Put the
When
glove
I
on.
about positive object association, especially with the XDOG vest, to like bully breeders, I said, you know how when your stud gets really excited when you pull out the glove, they're like, oh yeah, I really understand. So that's positive object association. They're associating latex glove. Yeah. Very positive. I just saw a TikTok video today. It was really weird too, man. It was on blue crabs, how you can flip a blue crab male over and you can rub his spot right there and he'll fucking fall asleep. He won't even try to attack you no more. It's crazy.
You can do the same thing with a crawfish, or some people up north call them crayfish, but like you can put them a certain way and you rub in between their eyes.
Yeah.
And they'll just pass out. Yep.
Well, we'll get balls deep into slang and semen shortly, but man, Sam, so welcome to the live, man. So let's talk initially about I know the theme tonight, we want to talk about, you know, how to become successful both inside the show ring and outside the show ring. It's something that's very challenging because we've seen certain kennels who do very well, or programs that do very well inside the show ring, but they don't really have a lot of studs in demand. And then we also seen people who never get in the show ring who have studs or in high demand. So that's going to be sort of the theme tonight, and you're very successful at both. And we want to know the insights, because I think in order to take the American Bully community to the next level, I think being both is just important, you know, having a super competitive show ring and putting out quality dogs overall.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, very true.
So so let's get it started. So let's start. Where did you start? Where'd you get your first dog? What got you into the American Bully? I know you're into serpents and stuff like that, but what got you really into the American Bully?
You know, I always loved dogs. You know, when I was a kid, you know, growing up in Long Beach, California, there's a lot of stray dogs. and I would bring dogs over to the house and take care of them. And my mom would find out later and they'll make me get rid of them. So I always had a passion for. At that time, there was a lot of pit bull mixes on the streets, and when I grew up and had my own family, got married, I wanted to adopt a pit bull at that time.
Yeah.
But I had 3 young boys, and not knowing the history of the dog, not knowing where it came from, not knowing if there's any behavior issues, I didn't want to put my kids in jeopardy.
Sure.
So I talked to my friend Khan Nguyen, Folk Style Bullies, and he's the one who introduced me to the American Bullies. He said they were bred for the temperament and they're very good family dogs and they're very chill. So I borrowed one of his dogs for a weekend and had him over with the family. And I mean, I've never seen a dog like that.
Yeah.
His name was Willie, and he was just so laid back. The neighbor's dog is barking and doing all this stuff, and he just stands by her side, just playing with us and not paying any attention to the other dog barking at it. It's easy to walk and gentle with the kids. And I said, I want one. I said, the next litter you have, I want to get one. And he had a litter that had our little Rocco. He was a chocolate pie boy. And, I just fell in love the first time I saw him.
Yeah.
And then from there, I wanted to know more about the American Bullies. I wanted to see more American Bullies, so I went to the shows with Khan, and that was the first time I saw. At that time was Lucky Luciano,
Okay.
Ferraro, and Bowser, with Devin, and I was just amazed. Alex was his bully celebrity. Like just all these people surrounding him and checking out Lucky, and then you see Devin in the ring with Bowser. She drops the lead and walks out, and he just self-stacking himself. And I was like, this is amazing. I that was it for me. And I went to a lot of shows after that, just to see other dogs, and and then little, somebody had said, maybe you should put your dog into a show, Little Rocco. And he did pretty well. He grand champs. He went around the world and Europe, and multiple best of show winners, and all that. So that's really what drove me. It was just looking for a good family dog. Good temperament. Didn't really have to worry about aggression, and just dogs that are just good to be around our kids. And that was it. And then the show ring just kind of the show bug just bit me in the butt when I went, to see how other dogs perform in the ring. I just fell in love with it. It was a really good networking opportunity, getting to know other breeders, getting to know, their program, and just sharing the passion for the American Bullies.
Sure.
So like, how long ago are we talking?
Say about 7 years ago. So
Yeah.
it hasn't been too long. Still relatively new in the bully community.
Do you feel like, the way that you network allowed you to fast track to your current success now? Like how important and how powerful is having a network like that? Because I know people 20 years in the game and have not accomplished a tenth of what you've accomplished so far.
It's absolutely is very important, because like in my background, I've always been in sales, and I keep in contact with everybody that I do business with, everybody that I work with. And, those guys potentially become my clients in the future, not even just with dogs, but other things that I'm involved in, whether it's real estate, reptiles, or anything. Because, you never know when, because to me, it's just how I operate, like even in the business and IT world, like I still talk to a lot of my clients, even though I no longer service them from, the company that I used to work with. We become
Friends.
more than acquaintances, friends.
Yeah.
And those people, if I ever needed a job, they'll have jobs ready for me. That's why networking is very important. Same thing with the dogs. I use the show as a big networking opportunity when I go to meet people, at the show, shaking hands and talk, and just kind of feeling the energy from the passion that they have that we share with the American Bullies. That connection is very important, so going to the shows is a very big part of it. and just talking to all these different people. You know, it's a very big part of my success today. Because even if they don't do business with me at that day, it could be years from now, and they could become, you know, a very good client that comes back, you know, or give me good feedback to other people.
Sure. So when we're talking about the network, how are you navigating and distinguishing the people that you really want in your circle versus the people who you know may not, they have just kind of like, you can tell like their intent is not really pure. You know what I mean? Like it seems a lot of people, they called it in our game dick riding, right? Like, yeah, they're dick riding the next big stud. You having a stable of studs that are in high demand, how challenging is that for you?
It's very challenging, especially for me, because I take business that I do. I take it very, you know, very personal. You know, it's not just business. The connections that I make, it's not just business. You know, it starts from a personal level for me. So being able to separate that, being able to have setting boundaries, so that like the people who are just like you said, dick riders, you know, they're just in it for to get what they need and then move on. You know, those people you kind of have to set the boundaries, right? So you only allow a certain amount of your energy and your time, you know, to them. And when it's evident that that's all they're after, you have to cut them off and move on. Because it's only so much time in the day. You don't have time for everybody. You know, and that's one of the things that I struggle with is, you know, because I like to talk to people about the dogs. I like to share the passion, but it's impossible for me to do that with everybody that comes along. That, you know, even though I want to, I'm not able to. You know, I have family. You know, I have my kids, my wife.
We got a life.
Boy, you know, it's impossible. And most people understand that, but then there's some people who I think just feel entitled to your time. You know, even if they never spend any money with you, they just think like you owe it to them.
Yeah, they take it personal. They just take it personal.
Dog, I got stressed out one year so bad. People were hitting me up on the holidays, and because I would not get back with them, you know, I wasn't even customer service, you know, but I was just, I had this, I don't know, I just had this desire to constantly not want to piss people off and always please people. So when they would message me, it's kind of like what you said, Zach, make a friend, make a sale. That's what we know, you know. But me, I'm like, oh, I think we're genuine friends. I thought, you know, like, but no, we're not genuine friends. It's it's not the same on both sides.
And then I think a lot of times when people are trying to spend money, like you said, it's a sense of entitlement. Like, I'm the customer, I'm always right, you should take care of me. So it's when you're running your own business, it's hard to, it's like, man, you hit me up at 2:00 in the morning and you're asking me about a stud price that you could have went on my website and seen, you know, but now you're pissed off at me because I didn't answer you until 9:00 in the morning.
And there's a lot of people like that, you know. Like,
time change, time zones, so it's just hard, man.
Because everything is on my website. I try to make everything as streamlined as easy as possible. My contract's on the website. You can lock in the studs. You can find all the information. You can get your stud contracts. You can do litter registration. Everything from my website.
So how to somebody that's just starting out, like, because I try to tell my customers, I do graphic designs, and I try to tell them the importance of having a website for your kennel. And like, can you talk on that and explain the importance of actually having a website for your business like that?
I mean, that is like, to me, you have to have that's basic. You know, like, this is the way people reach you when you're unavailable. You know, if you're only known on Facebook and you're not on it 24/7 to answer people's messages, you know, you're gonna lose potential clients. So having a website that tells your story, tells about your program and how you operate, and the studs or puppies or whatever you have, that's automatic advertisement 24/7 that you don't have to be there, you know, for. Because, you know, people are very fickle, and they will move the one person to another person if you're not there to instantly, you know, gratify their needs. Not everybody. Some people, you know, they still reach back out to me months later when I don't respond sometimes for whatever reason. They wait and they still, you know, reach out to me, and then we connect. You know, because it's you know, for me right now with the success that's going on, it's very hard for me to keep up. You know, only because of the communication aspect. I'm so used to handling the communication myself. That people are just not really wanting to talk to other people. They just want to talk to me. They want to deal with me directly, and that's like it's been a problem. I'm having. So
yeah, I can only imagine what the shit you have to
Yeah, I
deal
know. I
with.
can't even talk to Stan. I got to talk to somebody else to talk to somebody else to talk to Stan for me. So I get it, bro. Like, I get it.
It happens though, man. Like, I mean, yeah, Zach is obviously like, he's joking about that, but and it's because here's the thing. It's like we have time. One, we have to
Yeah.
invest time into our own personal self-development, which takes a lot of the day, like physically, mentally, spiritually, financially. And then we're spending time building, building our family, which is important. And then we have our business and people who are invested into our business. We want to make sure we take care of them. It's just kind of crazy. Like when you think about it, one of those can take all day. But when you have three of
Just
those
the
things on
dogs
your
alone.
hand, huh?
Just the dogs alone, like just having to handle the dogs alone. Like you got to stop doing what you're doing. You got to go over here. You got to make sure they go outside. You got to do all this. So just, I mean, not even running a business, just having dogs by themselves, which is a business, but just having dogs. It's like people don't understand how much time really goes into it.
Yeah. So let's segue back into this. So outside of your first, when you start getting the show ring bug, but when you start getting really successful, what was your first dog at when you got in the ring outside of Little Rocco that you're like, okay, we can really really do something here to take this shit to the next level?
Well, the next dog that we showed was Grimm, and Grimm was a whole different style of dog compared to Little Rocco. He really changed what I wanted in American Bullies. At first, Grimm it was a rough sell for me. I also got it from Khan. We called them together, and when he first showed me Grimm, I'm used to Little Rocco. He's this really pretty dog,
Yeah.
And here comes Grimm. He's just a bull, and
Yeah.
I wasn't used to that yet. But he, it didn't take long for me to really, fell in love with Grimm. Like
Yeah, it's hard not to.
This is the program right here. This is going to be the start. It wasn't as much as I love Little Rocco. After Grimm, I was like, this boy is really the start of the American Bully for me. Not to say anything bad about Little Rocco. It's just just two different type of dogs.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, like having bravado, like his personality, I don't want another dog ever. You know what I mean? Like he's probably the easiest dog I've ever owned. He doesn't use any restroom in the house. He does not tear up anything. He's, like you said, he's super chill. I'd literally off leash walk him. Like I've got him trained to off leash walk him. Like it's crazy. He makes me look like a freaking like a professional dog trainer in a lot of ways, and it was just, he seamlessly fit in, and he's just a really, really cool dog. So man, to have something off Grimm is just, to me, it's just something that I don't know if I could ever turn to another fucking dog. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I don't know if I'll have it in me.
Yeah. So and the thing with Grimm too is we he champed out, but he should have been able to grand champ, but he had an incident in the show ring where a dog came up behind him while he was waiting in line. Not waiting line, but waiting to go into the ring, and that kind of set the switch off with him, and he was unsure of himself. He didn't feel safe, and we work with them as much as we can with the senior judge and doing shows and trying to give positive reinforcement, tried to get him through that, but it never really fully works. And it was to the point where like he was so stressed out, and I didn't want to do that to him. So we took him out and just let him be a dog. So I said the next time I get into a ring with a dog, I'm gonna have a winner. Something that's gonna win multiple best in shows. He's gonna be up there. For a top dog, we're gonna go for it. And it wasn't until we produced Zero, and we felt like we had that dog. And I remember talking to you about it before we even started going to the ring. Saying this dog is the one, for us. That I think he's gonna do very good in the ring, and it's gonna be a dog that we could take around the world and compete.
Yeah, and Zero's story is remarkable. For those guys, for everybody's listening and asking questions, give us. We're gonna go to about maybe like 7:40 or 8:40 his time. So we'll give you guys about 20 minutes to ask all the questions that you're gonna want for him, because we still got a few more questions ourselves. I wanna, and then we're also gonna do the giveaway for the puppy natural stack, as I mentioned earlier today. So we'll get all to that again. So let's go into Zero's run. Like last year, he came up short at ABKC Nationals. How did that make you feel? And what was the game plan and goal as soon as that happened?
Obviously we were disappointed, but it wasn't the end of the world for us.
Yeah.
He had an amazing. We started late, and he had an amazing run up into nationals. He got hurt, and we had to take him out for a little bit, but he came back strong. And we were happy how he's performing. So, but to me, it's not about winning. Like losing and falling down, and I guess what people call failure. To me, that's not a problem at all. That's a normal part of success.
Yeah.
Right. So us losing at nationals, coming short at nationals, it wasn't a big deal. We still will come back next year even stronger. And that's exactly what we're doing.
You know what it reminded me of? It kind of reminded me of the UFC fighter GSP when he lost to Matt Hughes for the first time. And you just see it's like, man, he didn't quite believe in himself at that moment. And the next fucking thing, he fought him again. He knocks his ass out. And the next thing you know, he's going for this amazing UFC championship run that lasted he set records. Right now, Zero's setting records right now. I seen the photo like this, Chicago Bulls. Oh, James, a lot of people don't quite understand that or not saying that, youngins like Zach who think LeBron James is the GOAT, they don't quite understand.
What?
James. But
never.
His run this year is remarkable, man. Like, I looked at Zero as just the younger dog last year, and it was a pick 'em, it was a toss up. And I think it was very important to come up short because a lot of people don't even get the opportunity to even come up fucking short,
to get in that circle, to have that opportunity. It also shows
for us, I honestly, for myself, I felt like we won. Even though we didn't win nationals, I felt like we won. It was an amazing accomplishment, even to get to that point, getting to where he was at in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
So to me, that was a major accomplishment already. So I was content, but we wanted to do more, this year. So that's what we're doing.
That makes sense.
Yeah. How much focus when you finally realize that the dog that you have is the one? How much focus do you put into that?
Well,
as far as pictures, marketing, show runs, the whole nine.
Well, I mean, we have a fantastic team. I mean, like Jim and Hannah. I mean, what more can you add? You got the best bully photographer there as a co-owner, and you have Hannah, one of the best, handlers out there. It's. I mean, it was just magic, right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing else to it. It was just meant to be. Having them, doing this has been incredible. We would not have been able to be here without them. I give everything to them. I mean, I just produce a dog. They're marketing them, capturing all the pictures of them beautifully, and then Hannah showing them, beautifully, and just the training, the amount of work that they put into it. It's amazing.
All right, so I'm gonna put you.
It's definitely impressive, man.
So you have this, man. You have this like all-star lineup of studs that you've produced. You've got dogs that are running for the national championship. You've got dogs that, I mean, shit, dude. It seems like every week, one of you or your co-owned partners is posting, a breeding that's coming up that you guys just fucking sent off about 10 boxes of fucking breedings all over the world. To this day, in your opinion, what is your best production? And if you had to start all over again, you could only choose one of your dogs to start with, which one would it be and why?
People might be surprised. People might be surprised at his answer, but one of my favorite productions, and I think that produces very well. He's probably one of the most underrated studs out there. Is Grand Champion Luca Brasi.
Yeah.
The short stature, the structure, the bone, the head, the neck, the shoulders, the way he moves for the type of dog he is.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal to me. But because he's blue, and a lot of people overlook that. But to me, he's one of my favorite dogs when it comes to personality, when it comes to the looks, when it comes to the movement, when it comes to productions. He, to me, is one of my favorite productions.
Wow.
By far. I love Golden Child.
Yeah.
And he's doing his thing. He's done things like I would never imagine. the way he's produced, his looks, because for me, it's very important to produce dogs that's going to be able to produce consistently. That, they have a specific look that can be reproduced, no matter what you breed them to.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big goal that every breeder should have. That way, you can have a more consistent looking American Bully instead of, bullies that looks like they belong to different breeds.
Yeah.
There's a camp out there that I feel is probably one of the up and coming, if not already up and coming, but I hate to use the word up and coming, but they're going to be a serious problem in the next 3 to 5, 10 years from this point on. There's 2 dogs over there that have really, really struck my eye, which are a dog by the name of Seven and a dog by the name of Precious. And they come out of a place that I think you're very familiar with. As far as those 2 dogs, where do you see those 2 dogs in the next couple of years?
Well, we're planning. Precious is going to be, our foundation with the Road Bullies, my partners, for our next generation of breeding. So
I told Roger, I said, hey, if there is a smidge of window out there, an opportunity, let me know. I'll send the deposit today.
Absolutely. I don't announce a lot of my breeding because these type of breedings are our foundational breedings that we do for ourselves to set us up for for the future generation. So, I mean, I just saw her yesterday and she looks absolutely amazing.
She just blew my mind at 10 months, man. I think I saw her at 10 months. It's just unbelievable.
She is
I don't know what age she was when I seen her.
Yeah, she is amazing. She could go back in the ring right now and probably win like best of shows, But she did her thing, and now it's time to do the other side, the breeding side. So we have some amazing breedings planned right now. I think it's nobody's done before, and I'm very excited about it. She's actually coming in heat pretty soon, so we're looking forward to that. And then Seven, Seven is Zero's son. We bred Zero to Golden Child, Littermay's sister, Remy the Hemi, and he keeps getting better and better and better every time I see him. Those cheeks, the head shape, the bone, the nice spread, and the feet, strong rear, everything that we wanted out of Zero and out of Remy. So we got what we needed there.
When I see Zero in pictures, he looks great. But when seeing in person, it's like, what the fuck? Like, it's night and day. Like, I'm not to say that those photos don't do him justice because he looks great, but they really don't do him. He's a must-see dog in person. I never realized how wide a spread and just much of a dog he is.
He's a brick house.
Is Seven very similar to that?
Seven is young, but he's already, to me, like body-wise, he's almost at Zero's level already, if not there.
Wow.
With Zero, people criticize him, on the show, and they do that all the time. Every Sunday after dog wins, they criticize, and they show you the pictures and all this. But when you see him in person, it's like a different dog.
Yeah.
Jim does amazing pictures, but you have to see this boy in person. Watch how he moves in the ring. Watch how he looks from the front to the back to the side, and he's amazing. I mean, it's even. I'm not just trying to boast him, but I just don't see other dogs like that does what he does, and just the way he is and the way he moves. To me, he's just the perfect American Bully.
Nice. Well, Zach, you want to open up the questions for everybody? I know we got 30 minutes, and this thing's gonna get freaking flooded. So
If you're tuned in right now, you got a question you want to ask, I'm going to scroll through the comments, but I'm going to try and catch them. If you have to hit the question mark at the bottom and put your question in there, we'll be able to answer it faster.
And I got another question. So having this staple lineup of studs, what is the most challenging thing of having so many studs in demand? Because timing is everything, I know, when it comes to this. But what has been the most challenging thing for you in your personal experience?
The most challenging for me right now is because, like I said, I take a personal interest in everybody's breeding. I want all of our clients to be successful. That means the timing has to be right, and then juggling multiple breedings, for each stud. You got females coming in. Sometimes they stall, and sometimes they all come in at the same time. Like, who do you send semen out to? So keeping up, for me, I have to keep up with all of my clients and asking them what is the numbers today, and so I can schedule the breedings. I want to be fair with everybody. I want everybody to be successful, but sometimes it's very hard to manage. So going in the future, I'm actually working on an app right now that will allow clients to go on there and notify me, when their females in heat, what the numbers are, which stud, and it goes to my co-owners. It spreads out to co-owners, so there's a calendar, and they'll see, we have breedings coming up for this stud, right? This is the day the females was tested. This is the numbers, and it's easier for us to coordinate and schedule breedings, and help our clients to achieve a successful breeding. But the main problem is always communications, So I'm always looking for ways to streamline things and make things easier for us and for our clients.
I knew these fucking questions were gonna start pouring in, man. All right, so we got a ton of questions, Sam. So
first one is from K Hayes. They said, Sam, when you gonna show that Rocco and Remy litter?
When they're probably gonna come out when they're around like 9 months to 12 months, when they're ready to hit the ring, because right now they're looking very good and very promising for the show ring. So, I just want to hold out. I want to just bust it out one day, and you guys will know which one, which one they kick off of.
When the time is right. All right, so the next question from R2G Bullies. Have you got any plans to expand internationally to the likes of the UK and really stamp your blood there?
I actually am. I'm working on I get a lot of people asking to franchise, SSS Bullies, but like I tell them, SSS is Sam and Sons, Serpents and Bullies. No more, not as much Serpents anymore, but, it's a family thing for us. And, the way I do my co-owns is more of helping them to develop, their own brand and their own client base. And it's never meant to be a permanent thing where, I want them to learn what they need to learn and move on and do their own thing. Because
Grimm is a phenomenal producer, and I've been keeping an eye on his son, one of his sons, Brim, man. And Brim is just like, he's throwing some fucking heat.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I have some kids off for him too. They're all amazing.
Yeah.
We're gonna bust those guys out soon too.
Jesus, that's another thing. What do you got that's kind of like, you got some up and comers, obviously. Is there anything you want to share right now, as far as like don't feel like you have to do it, but do you have anything that I want to know, any secret up and comers?
We have kids off of Golden Child. As much as people talk shit about him, we have kids coming up that's going to be hitting the show ring soon. So we're pretty excited about that. And then I have kids off of his kids, off of Boss, off of Gold Rush. I try to keep productions off of every one of my studs. That are just like a prime example of what we were looking to achieve, when we did the breeding. So, this is kind of our way to prove that our studs are doing what they were bred to do. And you just have to use them in the right way. So you'll see, kids from every one of my studs in the show ring that we produce ourselves. But our clients are beating us to it already. There's already, the first ABKC Champion Golden Child son, a BRC Champion Golden Child son out there, and there's another female's about to champ out. So, they're doing the thing out there for our clients. But for myself, all of my stuff is hidden until they're ready to hit the ring, until they're ready to win.
Yeah.
There's not really too many in the comments. I'm reading them. I read all the ones out the question box so far.
Well, yeah, I saw a bunch coming in the comments. If you guys can put them in the question box, that'd be great.
Yeah, because it's so hard to scroll through and fight because people keep joining and I got to start scrolling again. There was one person that it was more of a question towards us. I think they're in the Army and she wants to know if we would come and talk to her handlers and she'd pay the expense to talk to them about endurance. And
here's a great question from 3X Bully Camp. What is the traits you look for in a foundation female?
So my foundation females, the breeding, matters a lot. So I look for consistency on the pedigree of both sides, the male and the female, and then I want the production to prove itself, so they look the way I expect them to look based on the pedigrees, based on the phenotype, and that's what I look for. So that way, there's a bit of the father and the mother, and then going back in the pedigree, so I know when I breed her, that more than likely I'm going to have something more consistent. something look like her. You know, so it's a pedigree, and then it's the looks that you look for. So it depends on what you need for your program. You know, everybody needs different things. So for me, I want the big blocky head, you know, the shorter muzzle, but not too short where they can't breathe. And then the bone structure, and the, you know, the wide chest, you know, the chest drop. So those are the things that I look for.
Any advice? Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Any advice for somebody desperately wanting to get in the show ring?
To be in the show ring,
Mm-hmm.
going to the shows, just watching how the pros do it, and how the handlers do it. Because you're gonna get, you know, some handlers that are new, and you can see, you learn like how they're doing things the wrong way, and versus somebody else who's doing things the right way. You know, learning off of somebody else's mistakes. You know, I think it's big. So, because if you're not in the ring yet, if you don't know what you're doing, you look at how people are doing it, and then hopefully finding a mentor that will, you know, or even speak to the judges. You know, they'll give you advice on how to stack your dogs and how to present them properly. What is that spit there?
Yeah, we got
for the giveaway.
The puppy naturals. We're giving away 3 puppy natural stacks tonight for everybody who joined the contest.
You know, I love that stuff. I tell people all the time, like, they ask me, how do you get your puppies, you know, so big, so they're so massive? And since I started using the puppy naturals, especially the powder, I have to even, you know, restrict them off of that sometimes because they get so big.
Yeah, it's interesting, man, because you know, there's some things that we've had some conversations really sparked me taking a much deeper dive into the reproduction and of certain nutrients and how to improve a stud's mobility. And you know, it's very interesting because a lot of our products have have a lot of the majority of the ingredients that can help with that. But you know, you moved to West Virginia, which is freaking crazy. What sparked that move?
You know, we were looking for a place for our dogs. You know, we wanted a lot of land, good weather, you know, so the dogs can just roam free and just, you know, breathe in the fresh air. Because our dogs has done so much for us and our family. You know, we wanted to, you know, to pay it back. You know, so everything, you know, like, we're willing to move out of the country for the dogs. As long as they have good schools for our kids, you know. And we've been looking everywhere. We looked in Texas. We looked in California. You know, we looked in Tennessee, and we were supposed to close on a facility, and 3 times, for one reason or another, it never happened. And we're kind of like at that point where, like, you know, we're no longer looking. We're just going to put it out there in the universe, and we're going to let it come to us. And a couple of weeks later, that property came to us. We flew out, you know, a couple of days. Went to go see it, and that was it.
Yeah.
It all happened in less than 30 days.
Damn. Congratulations on that, for sure, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think West Virginia is a great spot, just especially for the extreme, because your bullies are extreme, you know, and, you know, having, you know, Texas is great. I love Texas, but, man, unless you just have a really indoor facility, you know, it's going to limit your ability in some cases, you know. And I think, you know, people really underestimate how much environment plays a pivotal role when it comes to, you know, enhancing or maximizing your dog's genetic potential.
Absolutely.
All right, Marley, so you're winner number 1. Message us. You know how to hit us up. Hit us up on XDOG. Give us your information and let us know that you won the puppy natural stack. So we're going to head and remove her, and we'll go ahead and spin again. So.
Another question they had there. What are some approaches you take to co-owning a dog?
So, co-owning a dog is, you know, finding the right people that, you know, with their goals align with yours, that you can help each other and not just one-sided, is very important. And for me, if you want to co-own a dog with me, and then the first thing out of your mouth is how much money I'm going to make, it's a hard pass for me, because you have to have the passion for the dogs first. You know, so you have to ask the right questions where, for me to get the feeling like this person is about the dog, you know, and not about the money. The money always comes later. You put out a good product, you do good business,
yep,
the money will come. So if the first thing you're asking about is money, you're in for the wrong reasons already, and more likely you're probably going to fail.
That's the same thing I say about in business in general. Like if you're creating a business to just make money, it's ass backwards, because it's kind of like, well, aren't you supposed to get into business, make money? Yeah, you're supposed to get into business to make money, but if you really want to make money, you got to have purpose. If you can solve people's problems, and especially in this game, a good quality dog solves a lot of program problems, you know, like, and also again, doing great business. I think, I think you're really exceptional at that.
Yeah. That's the first part, I would imagine. Just do good
But yeah,
business, huh?
for the cones, it's very important to find people that you align with. Like for me, I have to meet these people in person. We've had to did business before, because for me, like when I meet someone in person, it's when you really feel like their energy. Like I'm big on
Mm-hmm.
if your
Yeah.
energy is off, I'm not going to do business with you. I would not want you to be a partner, because you can feel that
Big
from a mile
facts.
away sometimes.
Big
And
facts. The dog would tell you too. I mean, just bring a dog with you,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's a question that people keep asking. All right, so Hood affiliated bullies _ Brittany. You got 3 minutes to hit us up. It's 7:44. You got till 7:47. If not, we'll remove you and add another person, because you have to be live. But it seems like this question's coming up a lot. Of Sam, did Grimm move with you? Did he move out of Chicago?
He will go everywhere with me. Right now, he's at home with my wife, because we're getting the kennels installed and everything this week. But after this weekend, everybody's coming over.
They say, why do you hide them?
Why do I hide them?
Yeah, just dog.
Because,
Why you hiding the puppies?
Because I'm not big on showing them off. Like for me, I do the breeding for myself. So unless you already know about the breedings, you probably won't see them.
Yeah.
Hood affiliated. Go ahead. Sorry.
I just I wanted them to have the time to mature. I don't want to rush them, because a lot of people, they put a lot of weight on the puppies because fat puppies sell. But for me, like the dogs that I keep myself, they're lean. I keep them leaner, and just so you don't mess up the structure, and I let them kind of just grow into their own. Like these dogs, they would the mass, the muscle, and everything on their own. Just feed them properly, give them good exercise, and just let them do their thing.
Hood affiliated bullies _ Brittany. I see that you're live. Message us here at XDOG and just say you won the puppy natural stack right here, and just send us your contact information. So we're going to remove you, and we'll spin this wheel one more time in a minute.
Zeus World 46 says, is it more about the pedigree or what's hot now?
But see, here's the thing. That's kind of a crazy question to me. Not a crazy question, but to me, when you say what's hot now, it's almost kind of saying, hey, like, I'm only going to use a product or use a dog based on popularity, where it seems like a lot of these people who are very successful in the program, like Sam and all these other people, they have their own vision. They're not going after the most popular dog. They're going after the right dog that will help their vision come to life. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're right.
Yeah, no. I mean, when we asked Khan, he said that. He was like, when I asked him about outcrossing, like if you had to choose one dog to outcross to, who would you choose? And he was like, I don't need to,
It's true though, because I do look for like different stuff to outcross too, because I do breed tight. But the problem is for me is I want to find I need to know how other breeders are breeding towards. I breed for consistency. I don't want to breed to a dog where I breed to my dog, and all of a sudden you get all different styles. It's like that's not what I want. I want a program that breeds for consistency. They have similar features that will complement the dogs that I have. So that could be difficult if people are like not really sharing how they're breeding, because I think a lot of people in this community, they're kind of keep that information to their chest because they don't want you to
the secret, the recipe.
Secret, yeah.
But I mean, the recipe's out there. We watch the peds.
We had the opportunity to ask Khan this, and we kind of wanted to ask people who are actually somewhat connected to the dog in general, and it's RIP Cash, for him passing away. But what was your thoughts on Cash going down and doing that stack off?
The stack off at
Burchard's. Yeah, that muscle tone.
I personally, I was not for it. You know, I didn't think it was necessary, and I think it shouldn't happen. But you know, Jeremiah likes that shit, so he loves it. You know, so
Yeah.
so he was doing it for his own reasons, and you know, it's for promotion. The same reason why Bashar did it, it's for promotion. So
Did you? I mean, you know Jeremiah. You're close to him. Did he see a significant amount in stud fees after that, or did the stud fees go down? Or
no, his stud fee went up for sure.
yeah, of course,
You
right?
know, yeah, he got really busy after that, and you know, we knew that was going to happen, but you know, for me, it's not. Cash didn't need it. He had the hype behind him already. You know, everybody knew who he was. You know, he didn't need to continue to do that, but you know, Jeremiah loves it. Like I said, you know, he loves to go into the stack out. He loves to go to the different shows and stack out with, you know, even with exotics. That's his thing.
Yeah.
One of one Kennel said, "What's your thoughts on Samurai Paco?"
Paco, that's the old school blood. Um, I don't know. I don't know what dogs now that has that. I mean, because I think for him, he has like tends to produce easy westy feet. Um, but I mean, you can't deny that old school blood, you know. But
Yeah.
would I use him now? I probably wouldn't. We got so much dogs out there now with better features, you know, that you can add to your program.
I'd seen a post that Dave had gotten some straws, I think from old school straws of his from back in the day that he was able to get back from somebody, and he's going to reincorporate into his program. Do you think that's hype, or do you think that he's actually going to go back and utilize some of his old school blood?
I'm absolutely sure that he will use the old school blood. You know, that's always been his how he breeds. You know, that's what he's known for, and that's what he continues to do. But Dave, you know, he's not. He's well. I don't know about now, but you know, he really didn't have an active role in breeding for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, busy doing his thing with the ABKC. So, you know, but I think him coming back in and bringing this old school blood it's probably what's needed. You know, I definitely would look forward to breeding to something like that, just for some of my heavier, you know, line bred dogs. You know, because you definitely have to bring in new blood in.
Do you feel a lot of breeders breed themselves into a corner with certain bloods?
Absolutely. You know,
Yeah.
because it's easier to do that because you know that it works, right? So, but eventually, he's bringing Rocco. I'm sure he did already. God, I was took care, but yeah, absolutely. You know, because like the same thing with myself. You know, what I do now it works. You know, with Grimm and his kids, and because it's consistent. You know, this is what I've been going after.
Yeah.
But I can't always just do everything Grimm. You know, everything. You know, Golden Child. I have to bring in new blood, but it has to complement the dogs that I have now.
All right, it's a good transition point for this question. Is it more about the sire or the dame to start a program for you?
For me, it's about the dame. You know, you have to have a solid foundation to start with, and it starts with the female.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, if you have a pit bull female, you breed it to a popular stud, even if he's producing, you know, well for you, and then
You're limiting yourself.
Right, and let's say you get a really nice stud off of that breeding, right? That male, more likely, is not going to be consistent in his production. You know, so having a quality female,
It's fucking fly, bro.
and then bringing in a quality stud increases your chances of your new stud or your new female off of that litter that's going to produce more consistently.
Yeah.
Do you screen your stud services, or can anybody utilize any of your studs? You know, having a website.
To be honest, I do screen, but I don't do it all the time. You know, I'll go back in your page. I'll look at your dog pictures, even the ones that you don't show me, if you post it. And, you know, I'll ask questions, but a lot of the times, you know, it's, you're just locking in my stud on my website. You know, it's kind of automatic, right? And sometimes I won't even know what the female looks like until it's time for breeding, and I'll ask for all that. But
I want to say, hold on real quick. I want to say thank you to all three winners tonight. You guys won the Puppy Natural Stacks, and thank you for tuning in. That's been super important to us. This is the first time we've ever had all three people tune in. We didn't have to reset again, so thank you all for tuning in. So we got a couple more minutes, Zach. So we'll wrap this up because we know Sam's busy moving, man. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But go ahead.
We'll go with one last question.
Yeah, we'll ask if you guys have one last question. We'll accept one last question, and then we'll go ahead and sign off from here.
Isaac Garcia says, "What are some traits and characteristics you look for when making a pick, and at what age do you start looking?"
You start looking as soon as they come out. You know, like you got to look at the progression, how that puppy. If you're picked in that puppy, let's say if you're looking for something, you know, short and extreme. You see the shoulders, you see the bone, you see the head, you see the rear, and you look at how it progresses over the next couple of weeks, and does it maintain all that? Because some dogs, they change a lot. You know, by the time they get to 8 weeks, they could fall apart. You know,
Yeah.
So you really want to look at the progression, how they're progressing over this next 8 weeks or longer. Like for me, I tend to pick my top 2 or 3 picks, and I'll keep them around for a couple of months before I make my decision. This one stays, this one goes, you know, and you know, which one stays in the program. But,
well, I'm pretty sure I seen on like a XDOG True Beast podcast or something. Somebody said that you said you gotta get the biggest one with the biggest booty hole, and that's the best dog.
You know,
honestly, like
the dog with the booty hole gonna stay.
I had a dog named Shogun a long time ago, and I would pick literally because on his body, on the tip of his dick, right, there's a white patch right there, and every pup that had that white patch, that's what I would look for. Looked just like him, like it had like a lot of his traits. You know what I'm saying? But it's just kind of crazy. Like the booty hole makes sense, man, because fucking Bravado's got a fucking big ass.
Yeah, I was one of them podcasts y'all had. It was either you or I think they might have had Roger on or something, and he was like, "Oh, gotta look for the booty hole.
Yeah,
bigger the booty hole, bigger the dog."
Told me about that, you know, and I was just laughing like, "What the hell?" But it's true. When you
hey, I ain't gonna lie, y'all had me over here looking at my puppies like, "Babe, which one got the bigger asshole? Which one?"
It makes sense though, you know, like
like
it literally makes sense. Like
I go like off the ear. Like I've been looking at the ear. So like if the dog comes out and it's got real pointy ears, most of the time it's gonna be short, compact dog. Yeah. And if the dog's ears fold and come further down its face, I just feel like it's gonna be a bigger dog. I go by the ears.
Yeah, the ears definitely on like the short, extreme dogs, they do have that Frenchy look. You know, the ears they just stick up like all the time. You know,
yeah, it's something I've noticed in the last couple of generations coming through. Like the real compact ones, like their ears from birth are just bloop, Frenchy ears, and then the bigger dogs, like their ears have more of a fold.
Yeah, I've kept dogs like that with the ear just stand straight up. I thought it looks pretty cool. You know. Like,
yeah, I still got a female. She's got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, man, we appreciate your time. We have to do this again, man. I know you got a pretty tough schedule on you, but man, we're grateful for you to take time, you know, out of your busy schedule to do this for us. Man, you know me, man. I consider you a real friend, and you know anything you need from us here over at XDOG and Muscle Bully, you know, I'm just a contact away for you. So thank you again for your time. Hopefully next time we can maybe do something where I got Bravado here and you got Grimm there, and we'll show them, you know, some production stuff crazy.
Let's do it. I appreciate your support, man, from day one.
Yeah, man, and we got some other things we're going to be doing together when it comes to this networking stuff. So y'all stay tuned for that because there's something big in the works.
For sure, man. We appreciate y'all.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take it easy.
Love y'all. Thanks.